a lot of other stocks in news as well. So, Sterlite Tech is the other one. Their subsidiary, the Grid, has commissioned Rajasthan Transmission Project ahead of schedule, which is, well, good news. And Dr. Anand Agarwal, CEO of Sterlite Technologies, joins us right now on the phone line. There is so much that we can talk to Anand about. But good having you. Good morning. Thanks for joining in. And tell us about this transmission line that you've commissioned in Rajasthan ahead of schedule, because I believe this would be the first for any transmission project awarded under the tariff-based competitive pricing, right?
Good morning. Absolutely. This is a transmission line which connects the northern and western part of the country. This is a line which evacuates power from the Rajasthan Atomic Power Project. And this is the first time for either any private or public that the line has been commissioned almost 2.5 months before the scheduled period. And the great part is that the Ministry of Power has allowed that you can start to accrue tariff as long as the line is being used for its intended use before the scheduled project date. So we start getting tariff, and the line has already been loaded to its capacity before 2.5 months before the schedule.
Could you give us some more details, Mr. Agarwal? What sort of earnings contribution you may have penciled in from this line?
Aisha, this is a line, a relatively smaller line. It generates about 40 crores revenue annually overall over the next 35 years. But a very, very critical line in the northern and western grid. This is our fourth project for the grid which has gotten commissioned out of the total 8 that we have acquired over the last 4-5 years. And the 4 projects together generate close to about 700 crores of annualized revenues. So that's a current run rate of about 700 crores of revenues. And in this business, the EBITDA is typically pretty high, 96-97%, and that's what will start accruing to us.
One of the reasons why you were able to commission this project is because suddenly Rajasthan State Electricity Board or Rajasthan Discom is cash plus, and the reason why companies like yours suffered in the past was because some of the state electricity boards were not viable?
In this case, Nikunj, the line essentially we commissioned because of the fact that it is in the state of Rajasthan. That really helps in terms of getting the required clearances and rights of way. And at the same time, our agreement essentially continues. This is a part of the national grid. So our agreement will be in terms of getting the payments, etc., with Power Grid Corporation. So being in the state of Rajasthan helped in terms of clearances, etc. But in terms of credit and in terms of getting the payments, it's Power Grid that's the designated authority. So that also helps in terms of collecting from a centralized pool.
And what's the completion timeline for your 3 ongoing projects then? That's Kharagpur, Maheshwaram as well as Purulia.
Yeah, they have different schedules. So the next the scheduled finish is in 2017, 2018 and 19. But a couple of other projects are currently running ahead of schedule, and we believe that some of the lines will be able to get them towards earlier commissioning as well.
What is your understanding of the way how some of the new awards will be, new contracts will be awarded? There is a policy in place now. Government is committed to implement second generation transmission reforms. Uday is the scheme. Are you getting a sense that on-ground activity is going to pick up now?
Clearly, we are seeing that also. So more and more projects are coming for bidding. And now, as a part of the policy, most of the projects that are awarded need to go through a bidding process, a private-based bidding process. So over the next 5 to 6 months, we believe another 12 to 15,000 crores of lines will come on for bidding. And we are seeing clearly a great degree of activity happening both in the bidding process as well as the required clearances, whether it is for the rights of way, whether it is for the forest part.
Anand, just before we wrap up though, you've bagged a few orders if I'm not wrong. What's the current order book size like, and do you believe it will swell in calendar year 16?
Sure. Overall, in terms of the revenue order book for the novel business, which we do on the core side for products and solutions, we have in excess of 4,000 crores of orders. And the portfolio on the transmission project side, where we invest and accrue revenues over the next 30 odd years, is now close to 10,000 crores.
Great. Anand, so good having you. Thank you so much. And once again, kudos for doing such good work. Thanks for taking the time out and being with us today.
Sure. Thank you.
That's Anand Agarwal, CEO of Sterlite Tech. They commissioned a transmission line ahead of schedule, and the business, as we speak, is looking okay. They've bagged a few orders, of course, off late as well. So watch out.
Just as the market, as we speak, is looking quite okay, actually. Look where we started and look where we are almost leading up to, at a time when Asia is just about rumbling under pressure. You've got the market which has made a sizable move, and sizable not for the frontline indices.